Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपी कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। वो श्री राधे गोविंद भगवान की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा
जय
Krishna,
कृष्णा जय।
Krishna Govind.
All right. So last Thursday we started Canto 4. Yeah. फोर्थ बुक हम लोगों ने शुरू करी है, चैप्टर 1, और हम लोग 11th श्लोक पे थे. So this chapter is about Shambhu Manus and his daughters, right? And if you remember, as we read, Shambhu Manu and wife Satrupa, they have 3 daughters. Yeah. And the 3 daughters are Akuti, Dehuti, and Prashuti. Yeah. So Shambhu Manu has 3 daughters, Akuti, Dehuti, and Prasuti. Yeah. And along with them, he has 2 sons. Yeah. Uttanpad and so one more, like the 2 sons who are pretty much ruling the world. But the 3 daughters, one of them is Dehuti. So Mother Dehuti and Kapil Muni, we already read about that, right? So Mother Dehuti gets married to Karda Muni, has Kapil Muni as a son, who is avatar of Lord Vishnu. Yeah, and then we read about the whole transcendental knowledge of Mother Dehuti by Kapil Muni. Yeah. Then the other 2 daughters are Prasuti and Akuti. Yeah. And like if you just remember, like last few slokas, we read about Akuti getting married to Prajapati Ruchi. And then Prajapati Ruchi has a daughter and a son, Yagya and Dakshina. Yagya is also supposed to be Ansha of Bhagwan Vishnu. And Dakshina is Ansha of Mahalakshmi. And Shambhu Manu had already instructed Prajapati Ruchi that their son needs to be adopted by Shambhu Manu himself, because Shambhu Manu knew that he is Ansha of Bhagwan Vishnu. Yeah. So Shambhu Manu adopts Yagya, and then Yagya gets married to Dakshina. Yeah. So who is the Ansha of Mahalakshmi. So that's about Akuti. And then we have Prasuti is the 3rd daughter. Yeah. So Prasuti, what it is being mentioned is Shambhu Manu handed over his daughter Prasuti to the son of Brahma named Daksha. And we all know about Maharaj Daksha, who was also one of the progenitors of the living entities. The descendants of Daksha are spread throughout the 3 worlds. Yeah. So Daksha gets married to daughter Prasuti. Yeah. See how everything is getting expanded. So today we'll start with Shlok 12. Anilji?
जी हाँ. याः कर्दम सुता प्रोक्ता नव ब्रह्मर्षि पत्न्यः तासां प्रसूति प्रसवं प्रोच्यमानं निबोध मे. We have already been informed about the 9 daughters of Karda Muni who were handed over to 9 different sages. I shall not describe the descendants of those 9 daughters. Please hear from me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So also if you remember, Karda Muni and Dehuti, Mother Dehuti, they had 9 daughters, right, in the beginning. And 9 daughters were then married to 9 rishis. Yeah, Marichi and all that. And then they had Kapil Muni. Yeah. So what is being mentioned is now, yeah, we will be reading about those 9 daughters and their descendants. It says here the third canto has already described how Karda Muni begot 9 daughters in Dehuti, and how all the daughters were later handed over to great sages like Marichi, Atri, and Vashishta Muni. Yeah. Ajay?
Sure. Patni marichestu kala surveshu karma kardam matmaja kashyapam purnimanam cha yayori rapuritam jagat. Karda Muni's daughter Kala, who was married to Marichi, gave birth to 2 children whose names were Kashyapa and Purnima. The descendants are spread all over. Their descendants are spread all over the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So out of 9 daughters, 1 daughter is Kala of Karda Muni and Dehuti, and Kala was married to Marichi Rishi. They gave married to 2 children. One is Kashyap and one is Purnima. Yeah. Sachin? Sachin, yeah, mute.
This headphone that I connected that causes some issue. Purnima Sutra Virajan Vishwadam Cha Parantapa Devakulyam Hare Padashcho Chatya Utsa Vit Vara. My dear Vidur, of the 2 sons, Kashyapa and Purnima, Purnima begot 3 children, namely Viraj, Vishwadam, and Devakulya. Of these 3, Devakulya was the water which washed the lotus feet of personality of Godhead, and which later on transformed into the Ganges of heavenly planets.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna, Gajan. Hare Krishna, everyone. Sorry, I'm late.
Fine. Hare Krishna, Rinaji.
Hare Krishna, Bhaiya. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Yeah. So what we are reading in this chapter, right, just to recap very quickly, is Shwambhu Manu and his 3 daughters and 2 sons, right? And out of the 3 daughters, 1 daughter we already read about, Mother Dehuti, who got married to Karda Muni. Yeah. So Karda Muni and Mother Dehuti got married, and they had 9 daughters, and son Kapil Muni after that, right? And then Akuti got married to Prajapati Ruchi, and they had 1 son and 1 daughter, Yagya and Dakshina, which were also Ansha, Bhagwan Vishnu and Mahalakshmi. And then the 3rd daughter is Prasuti, who got married to Maharaj Daksh. Yeah. And now what we are reading is the 9 daughters of Karda Muni and Dehuti and their descendants. So Kala was one of the daughters of Mother Dehuti who got married to whom did she get married to? Just read in the last shlok. Yeah, see if you go back. Yeah, daughter Kala got married to Marichi Rishi. Yeah, and then got 2 children, Kashyap and Purnima. And then what it is being described is Purnima had 3 children, Viraj, Vishwag, and Devkulya. So what is important here, why we are reading this, is Devkulya, out of 3, was the water which washed the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. Yeah. So one of the so there was a daughter of Purnima, and she was then transformed into the Ganges of the heavenly planets. Right. So Ganga, जो heavenly planets पे है, was from Devkulya. Yeah. So it says here, of the two sons, Kashyap and Purnima, herein Purnima's descendants are described. And elaborate descriptions of these descendants will be given in the 6th canto. It is also understood herein that Devkulya is the presiding deity of the river Ganges, which comes down from a heavenly planets to this planet and is accepted to be sanctified because it touched the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hare. Yeah. So that is why it's so important to read how everything has come together. Yeah. Tarun?
Pre Patne Anusuya Trin Jajne Suyasaha Sutan Datam Durvasasam Somamatme Shabrahasya Sambhavan. Anasuya, the wife of Atri Muni, gave birth to 3 very famous sons, Soma, Dattatreya, and Durvasa, who were partial representations of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. Soma was a partial representation of Lord Brahma. Dattatreya was a partial representation of Lord Vishnu, and Durvasa was a partial representation of Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So we read about Marichi Rishi and Kala, right? Then the other daughter of Dehuti and Kardamuni is Ansuya. So Ansuya was married to Atri Muni. And we always, I think we know most of us, right? The story of Ansuya and Dattatreya. And so Ansuya gave birth to 3 sons, Som, which is the Chandradev, Dattatreya, and Durvasa. Yeah. So Som Chandradev is an Ansh of Lord Brahma, Dattatreya is Anshik of Lord Vishnu, and Durvasa of Lord Shiva. Yeah. And actually, let's read this purport, Sachin.
In this verse, we find the words Atma, Isha, Brahma, Sambhava. Atma means super soul or Vishnu. Isha means Lord Shiva. And Brahma means the 4-headed Lord Brahma. The 3 sons born of Anusuya, the Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma, were born as partial representations of these 3 demigods. Atma is not in the category of the demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. Therefore, he is described as Vivinamsa Bhutana. The super soul, Vishnu, is the seed-giving father of all living entities, including Brahma and Lord Shiva. Another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way. The principle who is super soul in every Atma, or one may say the soul of everyone, became manifested as Dattatreya because the word Amsh, part and parcel, is used here. Hare.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Says here, Dattam Durvasasam Som. Yeah. Reenaji?
Vidur Uvaj, Atrayirgihe Surasrestha Sthityutpantyant Hetavah Kinchit Chikirshavo Jata Etta Khyahi Me Guru. After hearing this, Vidur inquired from Maitreya, "My dear master, how is it that the 3 deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the whole creation, became the offspring of the wife of Atri Muni?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Maitreya Muni and Vidur Mahatma, right? Mahatma Vidur is always asking all these questions. And now he's asking Atri Muni and Ansuya, how come they got all 3, the creator, maintainer, and destroyer, as their children? Yeah. So he says the inquisitiveness of Vidur was quite fitting, for he understood that when the super soul, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, all appeared through the person of Ansuya, the wife of Atri Muni, there must have been some great purpose. Otherwise, why should they have appeared in such a way? Anilji? Anilji?
जी मैत्रेय उवाच ब्रह्मण चोदितः स्रष्टा वत्तिर्ब्रह्म विदाम्बरः सह पत्न्या यया वृक्षं कुलाद्रिं तपसि स्थितः. Maitreya said, when Lord Brahma ordered Atri Muni to create generations after marrying Ansuya, Atri Muni and his wife went to perform severe austerities in the valley of the mountain known as Raksha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
तस्मिन् प्रसूनस्थ बक पलाश शाशौकाननेन वार्भिः सर्वदिभिरुष्ठे निर्विद्यायाः समन्ततः. In that mountain valley flows a river named Nirvidya. On the bank of the river there are many Ashoka trees and other plants full of palas flowers, and there is always the sweet sound of water flowing from a waterfall. The husband and wife reach that beautiful place. Hare Krishna.
Hare. Yeah. Sachin?
प्राणायामेन संयम्य मनो वर्ष शतम अतिष्ठ देक वादेन निर्द्वंदो विलभोजना. There the great sage concentrated his mind by the yogic breathing exercises and thereby controlling all attachment. He remained standing on one leg only, eating nothing but air, and stood there on one leg for 100 years.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So stood on one leg for 100 years. Yeah. Varsh Shatam Muni hai. And which Muni? Which Rishi we are talking about? Which Rishi are we talking?
Atri.
Atri Muni. Yeah. So Atri Muni and Ansuya. So Lord Brahma asked, so first 9 daughters got married to 9 rishis, and Lord Brahma asked them to expand the universe, right? Expand the population. And so Atri Muni and Ansuya went for tapasya, austerities. And so that is what is being described. So Atri Muni stood on one leg for Varsha Shatam for 100 years. Yeah, using pranayam and sanyam. And Anil is the Hava, like just surviving on air, eating nothing but air. That's the tapasya, yeah, of Atri Muni. Tarun?
Sharanam tat prapadyeham ye eva jagdishwaraha prajamatma sama maham pajyat vitivi chintayan. He was thinking, may the Lord of the universe, of whom I have taken shelter, kindly be pleased to offer me a son exactly like him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Atri Muni, yeah, is asking for a son exactly like the Lord himself. Sharanam tam prapadeham. So he eva jagdishwara hai. Yeah. So that's what Atri Muni is asking for. Like he can get a son almost like the Ishwar himself. Rinaji?
Tapyamanam tribhunam pranayamad sagnina nirgaten munirmurdanah samikshya prabhavastrayah. While Atri Muni was engaged in these severe austerities, a blazing fire came out of his head by virtue of his breathing exercise, and that fire was seen by the three principal deities of the three worlds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tapyamanam Tribhunam. So blazing fire came out of Atri Muni's head, yeah, which was seen by all the deities of three worlds. And let's read this purport, Tarun.
According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the fire of pranayama is mental satisfaction. That fire was perceived by the super soul, Vishnu, and thereby Lord Brahma and Shiva also perceived it. Atri Muni, by his breathing exercise, concentrated on the super soul of the Lord of the universe. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord of the universe is Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, and by the direction of Vasudeva, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva work. Therefore, in the direction of Vasudeva, both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva perceived the severe penance adopted by Atri Muni, and thus they were pleased to come down, as stated in the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
Apsarog Muni Gandharva Siddh Vidya Dharu Rage Vyat Manash Yash Sastadavshram Padam Yuyu. At that time, the three deities approached the hermitage of Atri Muni, accompanied by the denizens of the heavenly planets, such as celestial beauties, the Gandharvas and the Siddhas, the Vidyadhars and the Nagas. Thus they entered the ashram of great sage who had become famous by his austerities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Atri Muni's ashram, three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, crossed, and when they came with Apsara, Muni, Gandharva, Siddha, Vidyadhar, right? And so on and so forth. And it says that it is advised in the Vedic literatures that one should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the universe and the Master of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. He is known as the Super Soul. And when one worships the Super Soul, all other deities such as Brahma and Lord Shiva appear with Lord Vishnu because they are directed by the Super Soul. Yeah. Rinaji?
Tat pradurbhava sanyog vidya vidyuti mana munihi uttishtanek padena dadarsh vibudharshavan. The sage was standing on one leg, but as soon as he saw that the three deities had appeared before him, he was so pleased to see them all together that despite great difficulty he approached them on one leg. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So I think then Atri Muni offers prayers, but we are going to pause here. And next time when we start, we are going to see how Atri Muni approaches all the three deities, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Mahesh. So we'll pause here today because and it's actually a long weekend coming up. So, and then, we have the Sadhu Sankirtan this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in Utah, Springfield. So we are actually traveling from tomorrow. Yeah. And so for this whole week actually, and also for 2-3 days next week. So I think we are going to pause our Srimad Bhagavatam for the long weekend. Yeah. And then we'll start after the second week, sometimes in June 1st week. I'll come back with the date. Yeah. And I'll try to post some of the pictures and videos from Sadhu Sang. I think it's generally a great kirtan. Generally, it's in Raleigh area, actually in North Carolina, but not in Raleigh area, but in Appalachian Mountain, 3 hours from here. This time they decided to do it in Utah, Spring Fork. So we are traveling there, so we'll also travel some parks and all that along with that. Yeah. So
Good.
enjoy the long weekend. You were saying something, Tarun?
No, I said it was a good idea.
Yeah, because you are going so far, so as well see some national parks and all that.
Yeah, visit Bryce Canyon, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, we are thinking about two places.
Yeah, Bryce Canyon is very beautiful.
Okay. So Zion Park and Bryce Canyon are the two ones which are.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bryce Canyon is very beautiful. Yeah.
So we are going to hit that. Yeah. So
Usually bras
we'll see how that works out, right?
fit small-chested women.
So I'm trying to play Kirtan. Just give me a second. Sorry, this was not ready actually today. See a lot of advertisements in the beginning. YouTube. Generally, I'll play the advertisements before and then it's ready to play. So we'll hear this nice Hare Krishna Kirtan and then we'll see you in like.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.